Hey everybody, this is Boost for you, and I just wanted to record my journey in the Desvelado Draft League Season 3. Now, a little bit of history before I start. I was in the last season of this draft league, and I actually won. There were two divisions though, and I was in the lower division. But now for this season, there's only one division, and now we're all grouped together since Scarlet and Violet is still relatively new. And because of this new generation, I wanted to try as many new things as possible. So that will be one of the main themes of this draft I'm about to show you. The second theme would be I always love running hyper offense. So back in Sword and Shield, I had lots of success with my hyper offense formula, which was basically a spike setter that dies getting up spikes, spin blocker, a dedicated setup sweeper, an extra hazard setter with priority, a defog punisher, and then a setup sweeper with priority. That is basically what I've been always running in all the low tiers of Gen 8, and it all got me to top 10 on the ladder. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. So my first pick is Samurott Hisui, and that's because of its crazy signature move that sets up spikes whenever it connects. So since it's an attack move, you can't stop it with magic bounce or taunt. And it's a dark type, so it has no immunities. This is going to be a really crazy move in my opinion, and that's why I picked Samurott right away, because there's nothing else that can do that. It's kind of low on the draft board in terms of points it's worth, but I had to get it. I had to. Its ability, it has a new ability called Sharpness, and it powers up lots of slicing moves. I've listed some of the slicing moves over here. Air Slash is pretty interesting since that's a special attack. I can also have Aqua Cutter if I want a accurate but weaker version of Razor Shell. Aqua Cutter is a new move. It's just a water type Night Slash. Yeah, its stats are pretty well rounded. It can still run special attack to use that Air Slash. Its only problem is its special defense is pretty low, so as a ghost resist, it's not too reliable. Alright, so my next mon is Galarian Zapdos. This is my defog punisher. All that I see it doing is getting Choice Scarf equipped and spamming its stab moves. It actually got nerfed. It lost lots of its coverage moves like Blaze Kick and Throat Chop. It still has Stomping Tantrum, but it's pretty weak. So most of the time I'm just going to be using Choice with U-turn for pivoting, Brave Bird in close combat. It does have setup opportunity with Bulk Up or Trailblaze, so if I want to be cheeky I can try that. Next up is another Hisuian Pokemon. Notice how I have lots of regional variant Pokemon. That's 3 already. So Goodra, I just wanted a really good Spadef wall, because I've noticed lots of people were drafting insane killers like Terra Fairy Spectrier or Terra Ice Regieleki. So I needed something to give me insurance for that. And Goodra just has lots of good resistances, lots of good bulk, and hits back decently hard. Its abilities, Shell Armor is really good for Nuzlocke, and I also think it's really good in draft, because now you can go according to plan and not get disrupted by a random crit. Gooey is also pretty good. My team isn't that fast, so having some speed control would help for stuff like Samurott and Zapdos. Okay, so my next one, Palossand. I think Palossand is really underrated. I used it on the ladder at like the 3rd week of Scarlet and Violet, and I saw how great it is at spin blocking. The best spinners, Great Tusk and Iron Treads, they could not touch this thing. So I'm like, this, I should use this in draft. It's gonna guarantee me to block any rapid spinner. So that's Palossand's main purpose. It also has Stealth Rock to complete another portion of my hazard spam, and it has reliable recovery. Its coverage is actually surprisingly decent. It has lots of moves to hit different mons that I need to. But other than that, it's most of the time it's just going to be running these 4 moves. And mostly it's going to be a fully Fizz-Def. It can run some special defense, but most spinners are physically inclined, so you might be seeing this mon repeat its sets the most. Only maybe like an item change. Next up is Sarina. Even though this is hyper offense in mind, I wanted to make sure I am still balanced since this is Draft League. I want to be prepared for any situation. Sarina is mostly there for rapid spin and U-turn. And as a bonus, it's a grass type, so I have a important ground resist, and I have super effective stab for water types, which you'll see for the rest of my draft. It's kind of a problem, water types. Next is another Hisuiemon, Arcanine. I saw this back in Radical Red. I was in a draft league and I had to prep against one, and I noticed how deadly its recoil moves are because it doesn't have recoil thanks to Rockhead. I'm like, I want to try that. It also fills the role of a Stealth Rocker with priority because it has Stealth Rock and Extreme Speed. I don't always have to run Rockhead. I can even run defensive with Intimidate, Will-O-Wisp, and Morning Sun. Or Flash Fire if I think Chi-Yu is going to be too overbearing. So, yeah, Arcanine is very flexible. I mean, its typing is, yeah, defensively it's not that good, but that's why I made it one of my 2 Terra Captains. It's going to be Terra Electric, once again, to help me with my bulky water problem, and to give me some more resistances to electric and flying. And he even synergizes with Wild Charge Rockhead, so there's that. Alright, moving on. Next we have Noivern, mostly there for a defogging and a speed tier. I knew I needed something with at least base 115 speed or higher because I did not want to make stuff like Spectrier able to run Modest for free. So I needed to pressure things into running Timid and Jolly. That's mainly the main purpose of this speed. It's kind of weak though, so I just want it to be a defogger. My whole idea with getting Noivern is I want all 3 forms of hazard control: Rapid Spin, Defog, and Magic Bounce. And you'll see here it also has U-turn. Noivern's only issue is that it's a flying type, so now I have you're gonna see that I have 3 flying types. And yeah, I was very unsure about that, but it had to be done, just for all the roles I wanted to fill. Its abilities are actually good for support. I mostly run Frisk, so I don't have to worry if they're choice locked or not. And yep. Oh yeah, I should let you know that I finished this draft league already. I just wanted to record my thoughts on all of the matches I've done. And yeah, I wanted to give this a try. I tried doing live commentary for one of my matches, but I don't think I'm that good at it yet, so I'll just give this one an attempt. But yeah. Next is Espeon. Once again, this fills my hazard control core of Rapid Spin, Defog, Magic Bounce. I kind of wanted Hatterene so that I can have a Trick Room mode, but it got sniped, so Espeon is all that's left. It has Baton Pass still, so it's a Baton Pass isn't banned in this league. I just can't pass boosts. Other than that, it's just mostly there for Magic Bounce. It's a good speed tier, but I didn't feel like that was needed anymore, especially with the next mon. It's mostly going to be support, even though it has a base 130 special attack. Though I did see it has Imprison, like most Psychic types have Imprison, and I think that's important if you don't want to get swept by a Spothra. You can just imprison the Calm Mind and the stored power, and then all it can do is a Dazzling Gleam. Or Shadow Ball, but that's why you have Shadow Ball, so you can imprison that too. But yeah, I think it's always important to have a Psychic type now, just to imprison a Spothra. Next is Enamorous. This is actually my most expensive mon in terms of the draft tiers, but it came in really late because I didn't know what to spend all of my excess points on. It was either Toxtricity or this, but I went with this mostly because it's a strong Fairy type. I don't need to Terra for Fairy power, and it's another Defog Punisher with Contrary. Its coverage is alright. It has Moonblast, Play Rough, and then all the other stuff that hits steals. But like, it's kind of too frail to be abusing Contrary Defog, so that's one of my issues with it, but I just had to use my points. It has really good special attack and speed though, and I'm not complaining about that. Just a third flying type is, Alright, my second to last one is Muck. I don't know when it got Toxic Spikes, but I feel like it got it this gen. So yeah, Muck is there as another hazard setter with priority, although the priority is super weak. But Poison type is also much needed in draft, so you don't get rolled over by Toxic Spikes. That's another reason why I wanted Toxtricity, but Muck fills that role. It got nerfed because it doesn't have knockoff anymore, but I still have lots of options for it. It can run Curse, can stop setup with Haze. It still has like Rock Slide and Ice Punch for coverage if I really needed to, and Fire Punch for steals, Drain Punch. But yeah, most of the time it's going to be really passive just to spread poison. And lastly, but definitely not least, is Ursaring. I wanted to try Ursaring ever since it can use Eviolite. So thanks to the Eviolite boost, its defenses are basically base 135, base 136. And yeah, basically now you can customize it to live anything you want. And I made it even easier by making it my second Terra Captain of Terra Fairy. And this is my true Fairy type, since it can like take hits, unlike Enamorous. It's also a normal type, so I can be immune to ghost types, which is way better than Samurot's Resist with its super frail special defense. So Ursaring is a great option for stuff like Gengar, Fluttermane, or Spectrier. It's also not very weak at all. Like, this Pokemon has it all. The only weakness is like speed and maybe recovery, but even though its recovery is still not that bad. Thanks to Guts, it gets an attack boost when it falls asleep. That's what I mean by its recovery is not bad. So I can use Rest to heal up and get an attack boost. And I can still kind of attack with Sleep Talk, but most of the time I don't see that as an issue. I've run lots of Rest Talk sets. They haven't betrayed me too much, I'd like to say. But yeah, I can run like full special defense with bulk up to patch up my physical side, and then it becomes an omnipotent juggernaut. Play Rough, so I can use fairy moves without having to Terra, or Terra Blast if I don't want to make contact. And it has more than just this set. It has a million coverage moves: Earthquake, Close Combat, Ice Punch, even Counter, right? Yeah, it has Counter. So yeah, I can like give it a colorful moveset than this one, but most of the time it's this one because it's just very reliable. But yeah, that's my team. I haven't really used any of these mons in a serious competitive format, except for maybe Zapdos when I tried using my Hyper Offense formula in Gen 8 OU. And that didn't really work because there's too much good defoggers in Gen 8 OU. All the trash defoggers are in the lower tiers, and that's how I was able to get away with stuff like Braviary in the low tiers. But yeah, everyone here is new, and I kind of really want to try them. Hopefully, I get to do this more often, and you get to see my journey. Thanks for watching. See ya.